This is part two of the two-part series on the Durham Report with myself and Call Me Cassie. Please make sure to see part one of this video to catch up on all the things that we talked about up until this point, as well as an introduction to my friend Call Me Cassie.
Ever since the beginning of the Obama administration.
Well, I mean, tell me why some guy with no skills, an addiction to hookers and crack is getting paid, millions of dollars a year
There's
by
one
these
reason.
companies to be, on their boards and to have these positions that he has no skills, experience, training, education, or anything in. I'm sorry, if someone's not going to pay you millions of dollars a
Right.
year for
Doing
something you have
nothing.
no
Qualifications
skills or
for.
qualifications for.
What are you
unless
what are you
it's
bringing
something
in
else
as like what are you contributing?
You're just bringing in his dad.
That's
Bringing
it.
in the
Access.
connections
Just
from
access.
the position of vice president at the time.
Right. I mean, think about how lucrative that, if you are able to be bought like that, the amount of just corrupted people coming at you, it would be a shitstorm. When they know that you're pay for play,
the reality is that
get ready.
When you've been in government for 50
Right.
years, you've got a lot of connections.
Yeah, what did he say? I'm ready to like when he was in Congress, I'm ready to prostitute myself out
Oh,
or whatever the heck he said. But
I don't remember what he said.
Yeah. When he was like, I'm the youngest, person, to run, and like he hadn't gotten it yet, and they were like, he was like, I'm ready.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, whatever it takes,
And the reality, I mean, he's been one of these guys that, his entire adult life, pretty much, he hasn't had a real job. He's been living off the taxpayer dollar.
Mhm.
And when you've been in elected office in the federal government for that long, you've got a ton of connections that you can use to make money other places. There's a reason why
the Clinton Foundation had so much money,
Right,
and then it didn't all of a sudden.
Right.
Whoopee.
Yeah,
Whoopsie-doo.
there's a whole circle that you're able to leverage to make the extra money, because you don't get to have tens of millions of dollars in your bank account
Right.
on a
Yeah.
what the- what-
$250,000 salary
and
on the high
Congress
end.
and senators don't even make that. They're
Right.
making, especially when he first started, they're making
Right.
like $100,000 a year. I think
Lobbying
now they're
is
150, 200.
And the amount of money that they'll hide in family members is like, that's really how it happens. You will, because they know that they're going to be up for scrutiny. They'll put it in the husband's name, the wife's name, the son.
Or in a charity.
They are humanitarian.
Something.
They are the companies that are going to save the world from
Right.
global warming. Don't you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
So it's, it'll be interesting over the next, I'm guessing probably a few months. I mean, if you're looking at another, almost 500,000 pages worth of information, from what I understand, Durham's already interviewed 24 people, I think the number was. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot more coming out. There's going to be a lot more of this case really coming through. And, it wouldn't surprise me that based on the timeline of this and a lot of the information, especially lately, is showing that, Obama is one of the people that are really running, the whole Commie Joe administration. That you're going to have.
And old Mike. She's helping. Behind every strong man is a strong. She's great.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna see. I think this is going to be a lot bigger than I think Hillary was hugely into
She was
it.
a puppet, though.
But I think
In a lot of ways, I mean, Obama was running that show. Like when
yeah, Clinton,
the exchange of power happened from the Clinton
yeah.
administration into the Obama
Oh,
administration.
Obama is definitely one of the big players in this whole new world order
Right.
scheme, and I think you're going to see Schiff involved in it. Brennan. I mean, you kind of have Mueller has been kind of pulled into this, being corrupt too. I think this is going to be one of the keys. With the Truth Network coming, or Truth Social again
Yes.
coming
Can't
online,
wait.
I think that you're going to see a lot of information that right now can't come out, because if I were to talk about a lot of that stuff on YouTube, or on people talk about it on Facebook, or wherever that is Commie controlled, it's going to get taken down. It's going to be censored. People's platforms are going to get deleted. So I think that once Truth Social comes out, and they partnered with Rumble, so they're going to have a platform for video as well as all of the print. I think you're going to see a lot more of this stuff starting to come out.
Oh, and Ninja Plug, you can follow me on True Social at Call Me Cassie, all one word. It's what's your handle?
Patriot Nation Live.
Patriot Nation
Yes,
Live.
I'm on True Social now. I've added it. I'll add that here shortly. I'm also on Telegram, Patriot Nation on there as well. And I am trying to do on Telegram and MeWe a lot of the more kind of real-time updates with stuff, since I can't just do breaking videos and do videos once a day.
There's a lot happening. So
Well,
WW3.
There's
So.
there's a crap ton happening
Yeah.
right now. The only way to really get that information out there to you is I monitor a whole bunch of different sources, and I try to watch those and put the relevant information up on the MeWe and Telegram to make sure that anybody can see it. So make sure to subscribe to those as well. And I think we're going to try to do these videos on a more regular basis, kind of beyond just kind of reading and talking a little bit about the news, having this little back and forth thing. Comment down below if you like this format. I mean, obviously she's a lot better looking than I am. So
Hey man, I mean,
if you want,
it's just a good face of makeup and a jacket.
Let me know. I mean, this not so much. I mean, but
I can't guarantee that it's going to be PC all the way for me. I mean, Sassy Cassie gets to make an appearance every now and again, so I apologize ahead of time, but it will entertain you.
I don't think anything I've said on this channel has really been PC, other than I try to watch, certain words and subjects to make sure that I don't get this channel nuked. And I mean, we're already on the backup channel now for a while, because the primary channel is under extra scrutiny for the next month and a half or so.
How many strikes do you got?
2. That third
Watch out.
So
That's the end of times.
I've got to wait another about a month and a half before the other 2 are removed and I start over again. So we're going to use the backup channel for that. Should anything happen that both channels get nuked, I'll try to start a third. Otherwise, I mean, Rumble, Brighteon, BitChute, they've done a limitation to where you can only have a 2 gig file, which equates to about 15-20 minutes worth of content. So I can't put most of the full videos up on there. So Brighteon and Rumble are going to be the good backups to it. There is a lot going on. I'm going to try to get a few more videos out on a little bit more regular basis to try to discuss this, and then we're going to try to do a little bit of regular kind of little back and forth.
Spice it up a little.
Yeah,
shake things up.
Spice it up a bit, and a little bit more ad lib. We try to have conversations about whatever it is that's currently going on. I mean, obviously, right now, we've got a dozen different things going on. We can't talk about all of them, but we're going to try to get another viewpoint on it. And
well, we're the American citizens that are affected by these things is the deal. We are living the daily grind, just the 9 to 5, and these things are going to affect us. And I think that it's important for because a lot of people feel so frustrated that there's nothing that they can do. And if there was, it may not be worth the effort to even try.
Right.
And I live by the philosophy that those who can do something should do something. A lot of people don't
Well,
have
that's why
a
this
lot of people
show-
don't have the guts to start a
Well,
podcast or
with all the cancel culture and stuff, man, I don't blame them. I
well,
mean, you
it's
can't-
just you put yourself out there, you make yourself vulnerable, and you are open to scrutiny
Yeah.
and ridicule. And
you know,
that is the sacrifice, I think.
And the unfortunate part is that, usually if you're right of center and someone offends you or you don't like it, you basically turn it off. If you're,
Right.
a left-wing commie and someone offends you, you try to cancel them, you try to censor them, you try to destroy their lives.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the big differences in today's world. And I think that scares a lot of people off. And unfortunately, they get scared like a lot of politics.
Right.
And when you look at the way that people treated Trump just because they didn't like what he said,
Right.
I don't know about you, but I think I'd take a mean tweet.
I know,
and a
man.
little locker room talk.
Trump, we need you.
Over World War III.
Gosh.
That's-
Please, like let's
I
put this into a little
I'm
perspective.
crazy.
I mean, it's like we need the Trump Batman, symbol flying up in the air.
With the hair.
Yes. Oh man, just the hair. That's all it would be. Just the hair. The silhouette.
I mean, people, and the thing is, I don't understand how these people are so offended when most of these people that are so offended grew up with South Park and Family Guy and Beavis and Butthead.
It
And
was the same thing that happened when safe spaces came in. Like we have lost the ability to take any shit. We've lost the ability to be different. You either conform or you're made the target. And they're so aggressive though. It's unreal. Like I just don't understand the aggression. And I feel like they are so aggressive because they feel stupid. They feel like deep down, whether they are aware of it or not, that they're doing something wrong.
well,
They don't quite understand what it is that's wrong about it, but it doesn't sit right. And that's why they get so emotionally triggered, is because when you feel a sense of shame or guilt, it manifests in a reaction like that.
I think a bigger part of it, though, too, is I personally believe that these people are probably less than 20% of the population.
Right. But they're the
because of
loudest.
The fact that they have they have the news media, they have the TV, the print, the social media, big tech, all amplifying these views, that it makes it look and sound and feel like they're the majority of the population, and they're not.
But
they
if you
have
go to
this huge
your
selling.
local grocery store, you're going to find people that 100% agree with a lot of the same things we're worried about, and have the same concerns and distrust with the media, with
Yeah.
our government right now. And I think the silent majority is even larger than anybody could anticipate. And so November, here we come. We're gonna make some great changes and moves to get this ship sailing straight again.
How do you think November's going to go? I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot with
I can't wait for
Well,
November. I've got the good vibes.
reform to what happens in November.
God.
Again, this is
Let's
one of
see.
those topics that we got to be careful on. But I mean, we're still going through a lot of things based upon the past. There's a lot of concerns out there. I've said before, I think we're up to 30 now incumbent Democrats that have resigned and that are retired.
Yeah, like what does this mean? What exactly? That's the kind of momentum that can really do change.
Do you think we're going to, out of those 30, do you think that since they're the incumbent Democrats and they're not running, that it's
Mhm.
going to be replaced with a
I'll just say it this way.
Republican? I mean,
I'll just
what
say
do
it
you
this way.
think should happen?
We as a nation have just suffered through 2 woke years. And places have the states that have struggled the most have been blue. I think that there's so much of our silent majority and fed upness in the communities, regardless of if it's already a Democratic, traditional always vote blue. There better be some really good candidates that come and get on the ticket for that party, or I don't think that they're going to have much of a choice. People are going to be looking, I hope people look at it as the chance to actually do something different. to make it matter because of how many slots are coming open. It's a chance, is really what it is. It's a chance to not allow this to go down this way. Like, we cannot, I mean, he's been in office for what, 1 year? I can't wait to watch the address on Tuesday.
Well, I was gonna say,
Oh my gosh. That's gonna be, oh my gosh. Remember when I said I feel sorry for him? That's gonna be the worst, the poor guy.
I mean,
What if he gets lost on the stage?
well, I was gonna say,
What
if he can't
happens?
make it from freaking Marine One back into the White House and get lost, how is he
Oh my
going to
gosh.
deal
It's
with
just
an
somebody with
hour-and-a-half
his shoulder, like walking behind him, like getting him up to the
Yeah,
podium, like,
I-
okay, like, he's
Yeah.
so sad.
you know, it's going to be interesting, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. And even if you take out the China stuff and the Russia stuff, I mean, you've got. I mean, gas prices here, in the Midwest just went up another 20 cents in the last week.
It's
I mean,
fun.
you've got
It's super fun.
shelves at the grocery store that are empty again.
Yep.
You've got, prices that have gone up,
Utility costs.
30%. You've got
Energy's gone up.
What does he have that is going to be good? I mean, everything is going to shit.
And that's why we got to do something now before, Trump's got even more work to clean up. Like, we can't wait until 2024. We can't. We need to act now, because if we take all three branches, we can actually make great change, reform, and eradicate the deep state. We can do something about the corruption in our own government. Like, get these term, politicians out. Like, I think that there needs to be limits on how long these people can serve our nation, because that is where the corruption really comes in.
How do we elect
The pay to play.
How do we elect people into Congress that agree with term limits so that they can actually?
We abolish lobbying.
Right now, none of these people are going to vote to limit themselves because they're making
Exactly. They're the ones making the rules right now. It's like, of course, this CEO is going to vote to give himself a raise.
Of course.
Duh.
Why
Hello.
would you not?
Come on. That just makes sense. They can get away with it. They will. Why would they care about the kind of advantage that they're taking over us? Why would they care? The term politician, it just means to have power and control.
Well, I think the bad thing about politicians in general is that when this country was created, politicians were supposed to be servants of the people.
Yeah.
And so many
Exactly.
now they think that they're the dictators of the people, that they are the ones that are in power over us. And this country was designed to be the other way around.
I literally have to tell my kids
Public servants.
I remind them that the Constitution was put in place to protect the citizens and limit the government.
Yep.
Because power corrupts.
Yep.
Power corrupts.
And ultimate power corrupts ultimately.
Exactly. And it even just going through the public school system, like learning about our government and just even the notion of truly the Constitution is for the people. Even we the people, it doesn't click when you are brainwashed into trusting your government blindly.
Right.
You don't realize that, this was so important because they will take advantage of us. It is a guarantee. Without these stipulations in place, they will take advantage.
And, unfortunately, I think there have been so many that have been brainwashed into believing that it is the government who is in control and not we, the people. And it's the government's job to provide us with, the minimum wage is a good example of that. There are so many people that believe that, the government needs to have this $15, $20 an hour minimum wage standard in order to allow people to make a living wage.
It's not how it works, though.
No, but they've been brainwashed into believing that is the way that it works.
I mean, how about we cut?
It's $20 an hour. It's not going to raise the cost of anything.
I mean, I know that there is a lot better management that should be done with, things like what our minimum wage should be. I think that companies have a responsibility to pay appropriate wages. I think that it is disgusting, though. What?
What employer do you know of that has a minimum wage position? I went to Raising Cane's fast food the other couple months ago. They had a big sign out front, $18 an hour to start. I went to Quick Trip, which here in the Midwest is a gas station.
Quick Trip's always paid their employees well. Far before the woke agenda.
Part-time people starting at $18.50 an hour.
Well, remember what happened in Taco Bell and McDonald's? They got rid of the cashiers. It's now a touch computer screen where you put your order in. Yes.
I don't know
you can't even go to Taco Bell in certain locations and put an order in with a real person. You have to use the kiosk. You have to. And I'm like, you just took jobs. That's all you did.
Yeah.
You did not pay people. You may have paid people more, but you cut half the jobs because you're not going to cut into your gains. I'm sorry. That's not how companies work and make money. They don't do things like that.
Especially anyway.
It's trickle down bullshit. It is.
Publicly traded.
Right.
I mean, their job is their shareholders and their board and
right.
their investors.
That's why nonprofit truly, I think, is the way to go. I mean,
well, but the Red Cross is a great example of how that gets corrupted.
Oh, let's not talk about the Red Cross. That's a whole. We need another whole episode for that. What's in the boxes? What's in the boxes?
That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
But the reality is that I don't know of a single company that has an actual minimum wage position. And if you're...
They're not advertising for it, at least.
Well, no, but still, okay.
But isn't it like 7 something, 8 something? What is it right now?
I don't know,
7.25
or something like that.
I mean, that's not a livable wage, period.
No, it's
people understand that, though.
Not. I don't say it is, but so let's say that you are someone that is making $7.50 an hour at, Acme retail store, right? Mom and pop retail store.
I also have 2 other jobs making $7.50 an hour that I'm also putting myself through working 70, 80-hour work weeks.
Exactly. So why?
But I would get it done. Here's the thing. Whatever my circumstances were, I would not be looking for my government to help me out. I would work harder in my circumstances to figure it out.
Right. And so if you were at that job and you were making $7.50 an hour and that wasn't enough to pay your bills, but yet Aldi's, which is it's a German company that's here in the United States, it's a grocery store, is paying
Love Aldi, shout out.
$13 an hour for cashiers.
And they get to sit.
You have Quick Trip.
Awesome. It's just a chair like this.
$18.50 an hour for part-time help. You've got fast food that's paying $15 to $18 an hour. Why would you not go work for one of those companies that are paying $14 to $18 an hour?
Because when they do that, they lose their welfare assistance.
Exactly.
Okay. You have to stay under the threshold.
Exactly. That's
another episode that we'll have to hash that out.
But that brings it back to the whole reason why people make $7 an hour or whatever the minimum wage is. It's not because that they have to. It's because they want to, because they want to be able to get that free government handout.
They're being supplemented.
So that they don't have to work hard. They don't have to get the skills and the experience and the education to get those higher paying jobs.
And the grit to do it and go after it.
Stuff.
Right. Like it's incentivizing, single motherhood. It is, there has got to be.
But you're a single mom.
Right. I'm a single mother of 2 kids and I have never taken assistance because I knew that I should figure it out. That's why I worked a full-time job. I worked a full-time 40-hour week job. And then I had my second job that I spent the time that I didn't have my kids with me, that I could make more money for them because that's how I chose to spend my time for my family. And that's sacrifice.
Yeah.
And
but they want to sacrifice for. They just want to kind of hand it out.
And that is the difference between them and me, I guess, it is, I think it comes down to the type of person that you are. You are either a taker or a giver. Yeah. And I am constantly trying to look for opportunity to give back.
And better yourself.
Exactly. Like, if you say you're a good person, okay, how? How are you doing that in your everyday life? Give me examples. What are you actively doing that you get to say that? That reality is something that I've been trying to actualize, like walk the talk, and I'm not gonna do stuff that I don't feel right about. It's just simple.
Well, and I think that the problem, I mean, like right now, I mean, in the last 3 months of 2021, like 12 million people quit their jobs.
What does that mean?
12 million.
I mean, I'm all about the side hustle too. Like,
How do you quit your job though? I mean, people are worried about like minimum wage being $15, but 12 million people quit their job.
what are you guys doing?
I mean, how
You guys making podcasts too?
how are you paying your bills?
Right. I know the side hustle, but for real
I
though.
mean, don't get me
Like, do
wrong. I mean,
livings,
if
like,
I
do
put a lot,
circumstances?
it might be
Yeah, oh, maybe that's it.
sipping I mean, we're sipping cocktails already, but I'd be on a beach sipping cocktails.
Man, if we were doing this on a beach too, though, I mean, that'd be the life.
So I mean, not being judgmental, but 12 million people have decided that it's better for them to not work than to work last year.
Right.
And that last year. That was in the last 3 months of last year. So how exactly are people paying their bills, or at least those 12 million people paying their
Right.
bills?
Where are they getting money?
I
Because
mean-
inflation, 40-year high.
Yeah, I mean,
We need money right now.
everything's up like 40% right now. I mean, a couple of years ago, gas here in the Midwest where we live was about $1.35 a gallon. I just drove by the gas station the other day. It's $3.50 a gallon now. In 2 years' time, it's more than doubled in price. And I know the commie propaganda freaking will tell you that it's only gone up $1, but that's complete bullshit.
As the consumer,
Yeah.
the ones actually at the pump.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love every time I go to a gas station and on the pump, there's a little sticker of Biden going, I did that. I'm like, you did do that.
I want to buy some.
Right, just put them around randomly, just like.
I'm sure that they probably pass a law now where that's like some sort of crime, like you're defacing property or.
Do we need to talk about the severed head of former?
Well,
right,
but,
I mean,
do as I say,
Kathy
not as I
Griffin.
do. I mean,
Well, yeah.
It's very.
Hypocrisy at its finest.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of hypocrisy on there, and it's gotten to the point of all out craziness. And I think that coming back around, I guess, is one of the more dangerous things of where we're at in today's society because
Yes.
in order to really change what's going on with this country, obviously this problem is in a lot of countries. This is just a United States problem. There are communist freaking scumbags out there everywhere. There's New World Order scumbags everywhere.
This is a global effort.
Right. But in this country, we need to start electing good people. But how are we going to elect good people when good people don't want to run because it has now become standard practice to try to destroy that person, to try to destroy their family,
Yep.
to try to destroy their friends and family.
Yep.
So whatever person is really going to want to run and deal with that.
That's why you
stop with all
gotta,
of these
you really gotta take note who's actually stepping up and doing it though. Like I applaud those people so much, and I hope that one day in my life I will feel like I could serve my community and run for even just like a local office, like something, like something to be able to give,
not just president, it's not
give back,
Congress.
right? To do something that take action,
And the reality is that, and we've seen over the last 2 years that, states have a lot more power than people give them credit
Right.
to.
Like I hate federal government, period. Like I want only state and local governance.
Well,
like,
and state and local government
I'm
have,
libertarian too, as well. So that's the difference, I guess.
the state and local government have the biggest impact on the laws that affect all of that.
And isn't
stuff.
that what we need to be concerned
Right.
about?
But everybody focuses on the president. Everybody focuses on Congress.
They're
But-
focusing on other nations. They're not focusing on us.
Right. We need to step back a little bit, and we need to start putting good people in at the local level. I mean, you see
Right.
what kids are being put through with this
And
current
that's where I think a
situation.
lot of conservatives are standing up. A lot of right. I
In the
mean,
words, you can
no.
laugh at me, but I mean, realistically, this and this is what parents are really pissed off about when it comes to
Yes.
schools.
Do
And
not make us mama bear out. Like we will come for you. It's not a good place to put us in. And there's so many more of us than you. So understand that.
and school board affects that. Your city council, your
Yes.
county,
Get out
your
and
county
vote.
reps, your state reps. Those are the ones that affect all the laws and all of this stuff that happens within your
How much your
state.
taxes are.
Right. And so you need to start putting good people in there to make sure that we have good laws and good regulations at the state level.
That are serving the people and
Right.
not the representative.
Right.
That's the thing. It's like there's so much opportunity that comes with holding office
Yep.
that's what the goal is. That is what the access that they're trying to get. They're not trying to serve.
No, it's all about,
Their
it's all about the
constituents.
power, the control. It's all about the access.
Exactly.
And you
So
know,
people need to just pay attention and really look at what our choices are. You know, if we can find some normal thinking Democrats that can get back into reality, maybe they have a chance of holding the houses. Okay.
I think unfortunately that the squad and the rest of the extremists have basically, I mean, and Joe Manchin's a great example of
Go Joe.
a,
Thank you, Joe.
you know, a more
Right.
center-minded Democrat. I mean, they're trying to destroy the guy.
Because there's good people.
They've gotten rid of all of those good center-oriented Democrats. The old blue dog Democrats. Zell Miller was another good example.
That's what I'm saying. If the ticket's going to remain blue, then let's put people in there that are going to be
in charge of the DNC. They put the extremists in charge of all the fundraising and all of the committees and everything. That if you don't go, and you know, I mean,
it's going to bust. I believe in the people more than that. We are smarter than that. People will get fed up to the point that it will explode in on itself. I mean,
Kamala didn't even make it through Iowa.
Kamala was so like the least she had like popular
of the vote. It was out of the whole Democratic consideration before Iowa.
She's terrible.
Nominated because you know of the extremist part of.
She fit the bill. Party. She fit the bill.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, I'm saying with like Biden's current nominee.
I know.
It's like. You know, the liberals talk about people shouldn't be judged on race or gender or any of this, but yet they came flat out and said that that they are going to nominate a woman of color.
Just don't know which one yet.
For the Supreme Court. So apparently, race and gender being a major part of your decision is perfectly okay if you're a Conrad liberal. But how dare anybody else make a decision based on race or gender?
Like, I don't care what race my pilot is. I don't care what they look like. I don't care if it's a woman. I don't care if it's a man. I don't care if it is your lovely dog down here. As long as they are the most qualified to be keeping our plane up in the air safe, you should have the job.
Yeah.
Make it on the qualifications. Period. Like
but they've shown that whether it's the military, whether it's law enforcement.
But like think about it, like in the field of medicine, in like engineering, like structural engineers.
Yeah.
Like think about it. Like I mean, the guy with the actual.
You got to admit so many people of this color and this sexual orientation and this gender and if you don't, now we're getting all these people.
Look, we were raised to see the world colorless. That is the generation, the millennial generation. We did not see color. It was not even a thing.
And even I was raised that you pick the best person.
Right.
I mean,
you look at the character.
Yeah, I mean, the color, the character, the qualifications.
Like if you're a bigot, you're a bigot,
right?
And that's not going to matter.
That doesn't matter how. I mean, you could be 10, you could be 80.
Right.
If you were raised that way, then you were raised that way. But
putting so much attention to it creates the the separation.
Right.
When you make you compared to me, that's all we're going to see now. It's a mute point. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It does not matter. You could be purple. I don't care. Are you the best pilot? Are you going to crash our damn plane?
I want the best person and I think that, I mean, most companies are focused on, profit and growing the business and being successful.
Ooh, capitalist.
Well,
Capitalism.
yeah, I don't
Bad.
have people and stuff, but I mean,
It's what drives the world.
don't get me started. I mean, I completely understand that there are bad companies and bad leaderships that screw over employees. And
That's in all things in life, though.
Whether you're a capitalist or socialist or communist, all of that shit still happens. I mean, the people that think that, like, oh, if we're in a communist society or socialist society, that workers are great. No, it's not that way. Yes, there may be some things that are better, okay, but a lot of that is just our culture and the way that people always are trying to be more money focused here.
Well, they associate equality with equity and outcome.
Right.
And you can't look at that. It comes down to the individual. Even if you're given everything all the same, people will still squander that.
Yeah.
People are still lazy. People still try to cheat each other out of things. People are still.
Well, I mean, how many stories can you recall of these people that win these multi-million dollar, $100 million, $200 million lotteries and are broke in a few years?
Mm-hmm.
Because they squandered all the way. They didn't really plan. They did
It's irresponsibility, poor fiscal spending, right. And that's not anybody's fault but yours.
And if I'm a business person, and I think most business people want their business to be successful and profitable, if they are looking to fill especially a critical role, they could give two fucks if that person is a man or a woman or brown or black or purple or green. It doesn't matter. They want the best person for the job that's going to come up with the best results and help create the best products. And all of these stats that they give, and slap me if I'm wrong on this, but this whole pay gap between men and women,
it's not real.
It comes down
women don't go into the same fields. We take time off from work.
Right.
We don't work as many hours.
Exactly.
And women who are in women who stay in the workforce, who do take jobs in math and science fields,
right.
They make more money than their male counterparts. They make more money. Period. This is a manipulation to rile women up against men. It is a divisive. It is not fair. Men do the dangerous jobs, the dirty jobs, the jobs that women don't. Like you guys have so much more risk, and it's unfair for us to be so confused as to why we don't have the same financial, security that men do in so many ways. It is not because of something that nefarious going on.
Somebody's not going to say, well, hey, I'm going to hire.
There's no agenda. We have all the same rights and opportunities, if not more.
Woman, I'm going to pay you.
To be a woman in America today, you are the most privileged person across the spectrum. I mean, think about it. You're a white cis male, so you're at the very, very, very bottom.
Yeah, I'm the devil.
You're the Antichrist, actually. I mean, jeez. So it's beyond me. I'm just tired of the woke tactics.
Of the victim mentality.
Yes, like get up and do something then.
Minorities aren't.
Go back to school.
They're not smart enough to get an ID to vote. They're not.
That is so that is the most disgusting thing. Like, are you kidding me? That is how you really think that would go? Like, they just couldn't. How do you think people function in life?
Right. Well,
seriously,
that's just it. You can't buy cigarettes or alcohol or fly on a plane or cash a check or a whole number of other things.
Or apply for a lease agreement.
Or a job.
Right.
I mean,
shit.
And look, okay, if someone doesn't have an ID, no matter what race or color they are, I am 100% for using government resources to help that person acquire a government ID because
And
it's going to
those
help
things
that
are already in
person out
place.
a lot
But
more.
those things are already in place.
Well, I'm sure that they
They
are.
are.
But I'm going to even increase whatever the spending, the resources for that, because the reality is if that person doesn't have an ID,
They're just
that
going to
person
send them a
doesn't.
mail-in ballot.
Well, yes, but
That's
I
how they'll
have a lot
solve
more
it.
concern. I have a lot more concerns for that person's welfare and safety.
Yeah, why don't
than
they have an
just to be
ID?
able to
Right.
vote.
Well, to not have the ability to rent a car or to buy a pack of smokes or whatever, that,
Or get
I
a
mean,
job.
we should be allowed, if you don't have an ID, there's probably a reason that needs help to get
Right.
fixed. Yeah.
And or if you don't have an ID, you probably aren't legally able to get one.
Oh, that's right. Got to be like a citizen.
Right, yeah. You
Some
gotta
sort of like reason to be here.
saying,
Got it. Oh, I didn't know how that Liberty worked. I'm sorry. Got it.
It's
Isn't
interesting.
that the whole point then?
Yeah. Well, but apparently I just saw a thing. You got to show it. They want the common rats want you to show an ID to be able to buy ammo. But apparently it's racist to ask for that same ID to vote.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
this is fun times we're living in, folks. Can't wait to see what's coming next.
How exactly do you need an ID to buy ammo or smokes or alcohol,
Or lottery ticket.
but not to vote?
Well, because it is hard to get an ID. Come on. What about the people in rural areas? They gotta take their buggy and get on the
wagon and go 50 miles.
They still have dial-up internet out there, okay?
Now that is a struggle. I mean that.
Oh wait, Starlink is coming to save the day.
Well, I just saw Starlink is coming to Ukraine.
Yes, go Elon Musk. Good job. That was, I mean, saw that.
I think that it's going to kind of revolutionize communications in a couple of different ways.
The quantum internet is going to be the key to all like future technology and advancement. Like we will use that as such a tool in our future. It's going to be incredible, I think.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of advances. I mean, quantum computing, the higher speeds. I know Starlink.
Well, the security of it too.
Well, I see the risks too, because when you have because when you have quantum,
IT, tell me. I have no idea.
Quantum computing, I mean, you have computers that are able to have exponentially greater calculations, which means that we're going to have to come up with entirely new encryption technologies to secure things because.
But that's the thing, though. I thought
about going to be cracked a lot.
But that's what I thought was so special and unique about the quantum internet is that because of it's in the state of a 1 and a 0, it's not.
It's always.
It's always encrypted.
No, because once
I'm just making up IT terms now, everybody. Just fair warning.
How computers have operated, since the days when they took up gigantic rooms. I mean, it's either on or it's off.
Right.
But there's just different types of encryptions, different levels of encryptions, and basically, how secure something is based upon how long it would take, the best computers to decrypt that encryption. And
isn't that what then makes it so hard?
With our current pre-quantum technology, all the encryptions that we have are things that are going to take like years or many years to break the encryption for. But quantum has the ability, at least theoretically as I understand it, to take what may take 30 years of the current generation computers, like weeks under quantum computing, to crack that encryption.
And that's where the advancements will come from.
Basically mean that a lot of the current encryption standards are going to be obsolete once quantum becomes a mass reality product. And so then that means that people are going to have to come up with new encryption technologies. And just like anything else security wise, the new stuff and the good guys are usually quite a bit behind the bad guys. And so, especially when you're looking at like nation states like the United States and Russia and China, most likely they've got quantum computers already in place and using it for their purposes. And so they're able to bypass a lot of the common encryption that we're currently using and security methods that we're currently using. But now if that starts to get out to groups like, individual hackers or hacker groups and that sort of thing, then that's going to, increase their ability to do nefarious things, and it's going to decrease the security that we have in those things until things catch up, and then we'll kind of go into more of that stalemate again.
So you're saying we have hope for a little bit of secured
Communication
communication now?
It depends on who you're worried about. If you're worried about tyrannical governments,
Elon Musk is going to
creating
save the world anyway, so.
encryption, then no, we're probably screwed. If I'm worried about, little hacker groups, getting in and stealing my freaking identity or my, my freaking shopping habits, no.
Yeah, I don't want our national security. I don't want the White House to be able to be hacked and spied on.
Well,
That's kind of things I would like to avoid.
That's
somehow.
Hillary did that. I don't know if that's
Again. I don't want that to happen again. Yeah, I can't wait for the rest of this Durham report to come out and be able to see the more nitty gritty and see who's going to get indicted first.
Yeah, well, I think in the next couple of months, probably, we're going to start seeing a lot more of that. I think that the next couple of weeks, you're probably going to see a lot of focus on the
World War III,
I'm trying to the conflict.
DEFCON 2.
DEFCON 2. It'll be interesting to see how much, and it's very likely that with the way that things are going, that a lot of this that's going on is designed to distract us from what is going on with the Durham report, and so it'll be interesting to see how much new stuff comes out and how much of it's actually covered.
Yep.
But I think we've gone on enough I can split this up into two.
Part 1 and Part 2. I mean,
so, I think for the first round, I think getting 2 shows will be good.
It's a fun time.
We'll kind of pay attention to what's going on over the next few days or next week, and kind of decide, what things we'll cover, and maybe go a little bit more in depth into our debate and our theories on for the next show.
Focus in on one piece of the crazy a little further.
The goal was to kind of focus in on the Durham report. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, Ukraine is tied into so many things, and it's tied into the Durham report and the Russia collusion thing and everything else. And so we kind of went off onto a couple of different things that are all kind of relevant to the overall picture.
Maybe this is the catalyst, for.
Yeah, it's very possible that this particular incident that's happening can lead to some of the other things that we've all been thinking about and talking about. And so it'll be interesting to see over the next couple of weeks how this plays out. I'm going to be really interested to see what old Commie Joe has to say in his his State of the Union.
Yes, everybody tune in. That'll be his most watched airing.
Yeah,
at all.
Get more views on that than anything else that he's done.
It's hard to watch a car crash.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of like watching the car crash at Trinidad, and that's unfortunate. I mean, we both love this country, and seeing as kind of the laughing stock in the world because of this guy, and I'm still trying to figure out, is it all an act, or is this, really just a bunch of incompetent buffoons that are really just kind of the figureheads to make us look stupid while the puppet masters are pulling all the strings behind the scenes, and he's just another distraction, or what exactly is going on. There's several different thoughts on that subject.
He is just a puppet, in my opinion.
Well, he's definitely just a puppet, but
he's so senile that it's not clicking. He's still in on it because of his history.
Yeah,
he's always been in on it. So him being manipulated and perverted out in whichever way pleases, that's nothing new to Biden. So if people got to direct him out of the bushes to get him back to the other side of the White House after a press conference, and we can't string two cognitive thoughts together to form a sentence, I don't think that that's an act. I can't imagine.
Well, if
He's
it is
not.
an act,
Nobody's that good.
if it is an act, I think someone deserves like an Oscar or a Golden
Goodness,
Globe or whatever
yes.
award.
The
And-
Tony goes
yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and there is a lot of conspiracy about, you know, it's all an actor, and you know, he's got one of those awesome Mission Impossible masks that I suppose would actually exist.
That's pretty fringe, Anthony.
I know it is, but
Deep
I mean,
fake?
sometimes
What's
I
a
wonder
deep
because-
fake?
I wonder because of the fact that, you know, if this guy is really as senile as what he appears to be, how anybody from either party would allow him to be in that position unless it was all just an act.
I think they're regretting it. I think they didn't. I didn't think that they. I don't think that they realized how bad it is, and so now they're kind of trying to, do damage control. That's why they don't let him do much.
Talk without, they cut him off.
He is not making any decisions. Okay,
No, I don't think he's making any decisions.
and he's
either.
reading off a teleprompter.
Well, he can't
and
even do that.
He's
I mean,
got nice little earpiece in to coach him through when he forgets what the hell he was saying. Talks about corn pop again.
Every other sentence, you know. I mean,
Goodness.
like hairy leg.
Come on, guys. Well, this is fun. Yes.
Well, all right, everyone. You know, we'll see you again here in maybe in a week or so with some more of this. And I'll, like I said, I'll be trying to do more real-time updates on Telegram and MeWe as to what's going on with Ukraine and China and everything else. And stay safe, stay informed, and stay prepared for God and country. Good night.